Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Monday. I think I just have to say that. Hey, Brother Nance, happy Monday. So we are here again each and every Monday, 7 p.m., bringing you some of the best topics of all times. Last week, we were talking about the crime. And then we kind of I don't want to even say linked it, but we kind of began talking about the schools and then, COVID in schools, right? And so we are here with kind of a second part. We will have our special guest on this evening. Dr. Kyle Berkley is coming back. I love the feel of the three parts and the three, just kind of that view of things. It was really a good dynamic segment last week, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was shared. It was a lot of interaction, and we wanted to make this part two talk about schools reopening with this COVID and this new variant. Is it safe? Is it safe for our students? But we have some pros here. We have some of the experts here today, as I stated, Dr. Kyle Berkley, and he has a sister that will be joining us shortly. She's a teacher, and she can give us some insight as well. But we wanted to know what is needed to make this be a successful and safe, productive school year. So that's what we're here for. I want everyone to make sure that they tune in, interact, engage, and share this video. So I'm here with our co-host, Brother Nance. Look at that. Producer came right on it. So yes, Brother Nance, happy Monday. And are you ready to dive into schools? Reopening with this COVID, with the crime, like everything. It's just so much. But we're going to be opening up this Monday. Well, next Monday, I should say. Are the students ready?
Of course not.
Okay. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. So we have with us.
I don't think no one's ready. I don't think no one's ready. I don't think teachers ready. The school system ain't ready. I don't think.
Yes. So listen, what we decided to do last week, Brother Nance is the one who initiated. We're not going to talk about the problems. We're going to give solutions. Solutions this particular day. So we have with us Dr. Kyle Berkley and Kyrissa, I hope I'm saying it correctly, Berkley. And so, he got the RTV shirt. Wait a minute. Hey!
I only had one of them shirts.
I got to get you one. Hello. Is it Kyrissa or Kyrissa?
Kyrissa.
Ah, okay. I was close.
Y'all are definitely related.
Yes, look just alike. So we have a sibling day. So we have a brother and sister. One is I just want to make sure I have the correct profession. So we have Kyle is going to have his background in mental health, and we have Kyrissa here. The background will be in education. She's a teacher, but I want both of them to kind of introduce themselves to our audience once again. So Dr. Kyle Berkley, could you go first? Just introduce a little short intro, and then I'm going to hand it over to your sister.
Let's see. My name is Dr. Kyle Berkley. I'm a mental health therapist. Been in this field since, give or take, 2003. Worked with the homeless. I've also worked with youth at crisis response and agencies like Hand to Hand in Baltimore, working with youth that were incarcerated, and also at Mountain Manor Treatment Center with youth with dual diagnosis of substance abuse and mental illness.
See, that's why I didn't want to mess it up. So, and then Kyrissa, could you introduce yourself so I won't mess you up?
Okay, my name is Kyrissa Berkley. I'm a fifth-year teacher for Baltimore City Public Schools. I teach 7th and 8th grade science.
Awesome. 7 and 8.
Don't tell us what school, because we're about to get
yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, so look, he's on the sofa today. So Brother Nance initiated this. So I don't, Kyrissa, you probably got that call last week. Hey, can we talk? We want to talk today about solutions. I know last week, parents, including myself, and still to this day, it's like 1 week away and we're getting ready, having an anxiety attack. So can you help us to kind of visualize how the first day or just the school year in general is going to look? What is needed to be mentally prepared for our students to be prepared, as well as parents. So we want to give solutions. We want to kind of help and leverage that. And then today we got we saw an article about the FDA approving this COVID vaccine. So we got a lot going on. Can we just dive in whatever way you want to go? But I just want to provide, this segment to be solution oriented. Whichever one would like to go first. And I would say, Kyrissa, I'm gonna put the spotlight on you as a teacher. Could you let us know just, and maybe parents in general, like how will that first day look? How will school in general look versus how it's been? What's going to be different?
Okay, well, I worked this summer for Baltimore City during a summer program. So we did like a dry run and expectations of how students will be coming in and out the building. So first they'll stop at a checkpoint. They'll get their temperature checked. They'll answer, I believe it's 3 questions to make sure they don't have any signs or symptoms of COVID. And then they'll proceed to the classroom. It went pretty smooth. We didn't have one case this summer at my school. We tested every week. Every child was mandatory testing. But the testing was nothing but like a Q-tip in your nose. You swab, I believe, like 5 times in each nose. I'm not too sure. I've had the vaccine, so teachers had the option of doing it or not doing it if you had the vaccine. I teach 7th and 8th graders, so at 12 years old, you can have the vaccine. So I'm not sure if they would still have to swab or not, the age group I teach. But it was pretty smooth this summer for the most part. Wasn't anything alarming. As far as I know, no cases were reported at the school I was at.
Now, was there a large amount of students in the school during the summer? Was it a nice amount,
We could have no more than 24 students in the classroom.
Okay.
And that was the limit.
Okay. So they kept the classroom small. And that's where the kind of, I would say what my question and concern would be, and then let's give a solution. But that was during the summer, smaller classroom sizes. Now it's going to be full-fledged, everyone is there. We already know before COVID, we had overcrowded classrooms. Do you know how that will actually look? Are they trying to break them up? Are they putting them in different pods? How does that work? Because some classes are definitely going to be over 20, at their max if they're going to be coming back. Is that normal?
That's a good question.
Okay. And that's okay. So I know that was one of the questions. And then also, I know you mentioned about the temperature check and the testing weekly. I will say that we had a meeting, a Zoom call, I would say, last week with PCAB. I would love to have them on next, but they had the director of operations on. They did confirm that there will be weekly testing, and then those that are vaccinated can bypass that. I just say, the concern would be if even those that are vaccinated are testing positive, how do we different, so I see Brother Nance is looking, and that, I guess that's what we don't know, but today changes a lot. I know the school board is having a meeting tomorrow, so there's a lot that you may not be able to answer, and that's fine, but we still want to just kind of talk about, like, what are those things that can kind of help the parents out, within that 1 week.
Well, 24 kids in a classroom is ideal. That would be the ideal classroom setting for even a teacher as myself. I wouldn't want any more than 24. But when I looked at my roster today, I'm going to have more than 24. Although that would be ideal to have between 18 and 24 students. But I believe it's a shortage of teachers everywhere. So the students have to go somewhere. So they're going to be pushed into those classes, and it's going to go up. The numbers will go up.
So you said there's a shortage of teachers. Is that why the classroom sizes are going to increase, possibly?
I'm 100% sure. Yeah, this is a shortage everywhere. It's not just in the city. That's a shortage everywhere. That's not just a Baltimore City problem. It's a shortage everywhere.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I was just wondering. That's one thing we didn't talk about is that shortage, so that's good that you actually said that, and something we could probably talk about as well. I would say, and I can probably direct this to Dr. Berkley. What are some things that we can help as far as mentally for like teachers that are kind of panicking, as well as parents, And I really don't know if the students are having that much of a panic versus the teachers and the parents. But could you help in that area with some solutions?
Like to alleviate anxiety with going back to school.
Yes.
First and foremost, don't talk to your friends about what's going on and what the solution is. Like, get the facts. Uh, we're dealing with a health pandemic. I really don't understand how somebody on your friends list can give you medical advice or expert advice if they're just talking about something that they heard from somebody else or something that they saw on YouTube. With somebody that doesn't have any credentials with dealing with an actual pandemic or dealing with an epidemic or anything health related. So the first and foremost, to alleviate any kind of anxiety is consult a medical professional. If you have somebody in school, hopefully they have a physician. So talk to them first. Uh, uh, that would be thing number one. Thing number two, talk to the teachers. You have access to the teachers. One of the most important things, my sister's right here on the line. She could tell you I was not the best kid in school. So, but
Oh Lord, Kyrissa.
one of the things that helped got me through each grade was my mom was really engaged with
Exactly.
my educators. You know, like if it wasn't for that, I probably would have failed out in seventh grade. But just being 100. But be involved with your teachers. Talk to them. Hey, look, I have this concern. What do you think? Or talk to the principal. Hey, look, I have I have this concern. If your anxiety is that high, this would be the ideal year to be involved with your parent teacher association. I would strongly say. Also, do some research for yourself instead of listening to somebody on your friends list or somebody from around the way who's giving you medical advice that has no medical degree. I would say, hey, look, let me do some research for myself. Let me ask the right questions to the right people that can answer this.
Awesome. So you actually, we can dive into this one here. Maybe this is where Brother Nance can help in. But you spoke about parent involvement. That's key. That's key before, during, after COVID. But more so right now, that's like probably the number one resource. We have to, solution. We have to make sure that we are involved, we're connected, and we're helping, the situation. Meaning, like you just said, we have all the resources at hand. Our teachers there, our staff. I don't know about any parents out there that's listening or will be listening if they come in after, but I am getting a lot of correspondence from the district, from the individual schools. So, email, on Facebook, they are really trying to disseminate that information to us. And we have to make sure that we are in tune, we're connected. So parent involvement is key. Making sure that we connect with a PTA or PTO or whatever you have at your school family council. Make sure that you are connected with them. Make sure you know who that coordinator is or that PTA president is, their contact. When do they meet? I don't know about anyone else, but now I believe we're going to even remain virtual. And if we don't do virtual, we're going to do hybrid. So there's so much opportunity to make sure that we can stay in tune with our phones to know what's going on with these board meetings or these PTA meetings. So Dr. Berkley made a great point about parent involvement. And Brother Nance, you like to speak about that because you're a community school coordinator. Just give us some solutions in that area when it comes to parents.
Just updating yourself on the technology that's being used, and one thing that we have to change is we have to approach this technology like we're making our kids afraid of technology when they're growing up in the technology era. You know what I mean? Like, so we have to understand and teach them how to, the parents, one, educate them on how to navigate and engage with the software and tools we're using to educate our children, because if they're not fearful, then their children won't be fearful with engaging into the education. Also, it helps them when they're trying to help their kids with their schoolwork, if they know how to engage in the software and things that they're using. So I would just say, get a little bit more engaged with the technology. Don't be afraid of the technology. It really is a lot of very simple. If you can navigate Facebook and stuff like that, you can navigate Class Dojo and all the other little Google classrooms and things that they're using this upcoming school year. So I mean, the solution would be just to stay engaged with the technology. Like you said, stay up to date on the announcements and things that are happening in the school. But most importantly, just supporting your children, with letting them know that it will be okay and giving them boundaries and setting them, even if they're at home, setting them on a schedule where they're winning. Allowing your children, even though they're home, I don't care if you're in underwear, just put your school uniform shirt on. You dig what I'm saying? Like, shorts every day, but just create an environment where the learning is for learning and it's not for chilling. You know what I mean? Because if you're in sweat clothes all day, I mean, naturally, as a human being, if I'm in pajamas all day, I'm going to be thinking about sleep. I'm going to be thinking about chilling. I mean, that's just a natural human reaction. So I think just equipping our children and modeling the behavior, especially if you're an adult that has the actual privilege of working from home, just modeling how your behavior is at home. With your work schedule and how you're balancing work, computer time, cooking, all the other things that you do throughout the day, just modeling the behavior and modeling what we want for our children to be. So a solution will be just to, I say all that to say, just stay up to date and engage in the technology, and don't be afraid of the technology, because we shouldn't be teaching, our children should not be afraid of the technology that is shaping their world. I'm an analog baby. They from the digital world. So we're making them afraid of something that's only going to we're moving into AI technology deeper. You know what I mean? So they have to really understand technology ain't going nowhere. So you have to become one with it. Even us older people, I'm speaking for myself when I speak about the parents as far as the technology. I have to, as a parent, stay on top of the technology so I can understand how to engage with my son in his schooling, and he's a senior. So when I think of solutions, I'm always speaking for myself first before I'm speaking to anyone else. So I don't know if the sister Berkley can relate to that as an educator. Like, how helpful is that for parents to be engaged with you virtually in the classroom setting? How does that make your job easier as far as relaying resources and information to families?
Yeah, I love what you said about putting on a uniform. Routine matters. Like, if they're in a routine of not going to sleep at a certain time, but you're expecting them to wake up at a certain time, it's not going to happen. They're going to come to class. They're going to go to sleep. Yeah. If they're used to disrespecting adults, they're going to come to school and disrespect adults. That behavior is not going to change. But if you put children in a routine, they'll understand that routine. It'll be repetitive. It'll be a part of them. And that matters. Having a relationship with parents matters. I noticed the parents that I actually have a great relationship with, and I actually met, we have a good relationship, and I have a good relationship with their child. And I'm more likely to understand them. And I'm more like if you know the parent, you understand the child. But if you don't even know the parent, some of these parents I've never even met. And this is my second year teaching their kids. Because I teach them in 7th grade, then they move on to 8th grade. I don't see them till graduation.
Maybe like, you did such a wonderful job, and oh my God, I love you. My kid talks so much about you.
And that matters. I want to meet you. I want to meet you. But I see the same parents over and over again on parent teacher night. It's the same parents.
Yeah. And
it's not that I'm not happy to see them, but I know your number. I can call you if I have a problem with little Johnny.
But can we build a relationship without the problem?
Of course.
No, that's what I'm saying. We have to get, as parents, I'm just going to speak, from the parents. So parents, if you're hearing this, we don't want to just engage with the teacher or the staff or, whomever, only when our child is having a problem. We want to build that relationship ahead of time, and just, I want to be listen to this. I know she's not on here. She's probably not even with the technology, but my daughter's pre-K teacher, she stays in contact with me, old school. Is this going to be a call? I got her to start texting, but call. And my daughter's going to the 1st grade, and still her pre-K teacher wants to know how her journey is. And so that, like you just said, relationships matter. having that relationship with them, despite there was no issue. She just wants to know how her journey is going. What can she do to help? Be a village. If you didn't know, Kyrissa, I know Kyle knows, but this is restoring the village. And so we want to make sure that we remain a village, not only just in the community with things that pertain to, politics or COVID or whatever, but as families. And you just I love what you just said. I actually wrote it down. Hopefully I said it correctly, but know the parent. To know the parent, know the parent, and then you'll understand the child. And so that was very important, because there are parents who are really going through, and maybe that's the reason why they can't connect. Maybe that's why they cannot have the time to talk. So we won't know, though, until you've actually began to talk to that child, or that parent, should I say. And so that was a good point of like you said, know the parent and understand the child. So that right there, to me, is like, if the child was late every day, or a pattern is going on with behavior, not to say it's all on the parent, but it may be something going on. Maybe that child did not, don't have a home, maybe they're, from here to there. But like you said, to build that relationship and to talk. And we as parents, because I'm on here, I'm just going to speak on the parent part, is that we cannot be afraid to speak to people and ask for help. And to say I'm hurting, or I need help, or I'm struggling. As involved as I am, I did virtual learning for this last school year, and I had moments, because I worked every day, did basically, I would say, homeschool, because she was 6 years old. So I had to make sure she can sit for that many hours, that she understood it, and that in her class, it was 40 on this Zoom. And I was kind of the one to kind of help to initiate these breakouts, where they can put them in these small groups. And then the school board initiated the amplified tutoring. I was so happy to hear that they will continue that amplified tutoring to help students get up to speed. So these are resources, these are solutions. And I feel as though, the district may not see always eye to eye. But as a PCAT member advising the school board and the CEO, I'm grateful to know that there are some things that they are listening to make sure that it's better. So thank you for that. And Brother Nance mentioned about these technology. And I'm going to just play, I don't want to say devil advocate, but I'm going to ask a question and just see how we can make this work. What are some solutions for maybe the parent do not know how to get on these programs?
Well, what we did at my school is we had little workshops and classes.
I would love that.
The thing about it is, you gotta want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like
what happens when?
Hold on one second. At the end of the day, the solution can be there, but you gotta want to participate in it. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to ask this. Even those who wanted to, I saw a lot of people that stepped in that were grandparents. And I'm going to tell you, as much as they wanted to, my daughter's grandmother is amazing. But to sit there and even try to show her, it was still like pulling her hair out. So what are some solutions for those who grandmothers
meeting people where they are and showing grandma some basic things that she can do? Everybody want to feel like they winning. If grandma can just get in the system, then the young person should be able to navigate her through to say, grandma, this is this is that. It got to be a relationship. It got to be a relational thing. Everybody has to play the part. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to know everything that's involved with my son's online learning. But if I know the basics on, okay, his class schedule goes like this, and in order to see what his schedule is doing, I have to log in through this website. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not a very technically savvy person myself, and I'm well educated. You know what I mean? But it's just that, like, again, having the tools and having access to the tools, you know what I mean, is, to me, I think, is and meeting people where they are, like meeting the grandma where she are. Like, people want to have small wins, you know what I mean, in order to, feel like they are engaged. Like, everybody's not going to know every single thing, and that's okay. You know what I mean? But if there's a village of people around them, I'm sure the grandmother ain't just raising the kid by